primary objective, successful. The views and opinions expressed on the show are those of the guest or host, and not necessarily those of the advertisers, networks, platforms, or stations. Warning that the content of the show may not be suitable for all audiences and that viewer discretion is advised. The show does not intend to provide medical, legal, or financial advice, and viewers or listeners should consult with a professional for making any decisions based on the information presented. Welcome to the Vixen'S Vault.
Welcome, everybody, to the Vixen'S Vault. Today's date is Wednesday, August the 26th, 2026. It is 9:02 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I'd like to welcome everybody to the show. I know I've been not here for the last couple of weeks, been fighting a little bit of a bug and taking care of some family things, but I'm glad to be back. It's been an interesting couple of weeks. Lots going on. Oh, there's Mr. Mark Edworthy. Good evening, Mark.
Hi.
Did we wake you up?
No, I actually just finished off dinner and was running a bit late anyway.
Ooh, gotcha. Well, I mean, it's like I said, it's been an interesting week, and I got to tell you, today, I don't know if y'all have been paying attention to what was going on over in Nepal today, but holy crow, man, they had a mudslide. Like it looked like something out of the movie 2012. I have never seen anything like that. It really looked like a mountain of mud. And I mean, I'm watching the videos now as they're coming out online. I mean, it's wiping out, like, whole towns just gone. It's like a tidal wave of mud.
I saw a headline earlier and only briefly looked at it, and it looked like so far 9 people died.
Oh, I think it's a lot more than that. You've had multiple major bridges that got completely destroyed with people on them. You had I watched an entire, like, they said it's a village. It looked more like a town. It looked larger than a village. It had a couple of probably 5-6-story buildings gone, just gone. And, you know, watching people out ahead of it trying to get to high ground and just not moving anywhere fast enough to do that. That was, I have seen some insane video. I mean, I remember the tsunami videos from 2009 from Japan, and I thought they were kind of crazy. This probably one-ups those videos. I've seen now 5 different videos coming out of the Nepal area, and I'm like, all of them are just heinously destructive. I mean, gives you a whole new respect for why it's kind of dangerous living at the base of mountainous areas, especially if there's rivers nearby. But yeah, just wow. Nothing was withstanding that pummeling. That was just crazy. But, you know, and again, we've had some not weird, but very strong weather events. We've had a couple of strong earthquakes in the last week. Really, actually, South America got whaled again. We've had, actually, yesterday, some serious, solar activity going on yesterday. And then today we saw the flooding, of course, in Nepal. We've got a lot of rogue waves being reported down in the Caribbean area, which tells me that's usually earthquake movement that's just not being noticed. But again, all these things seem to add up, and it's like, yeah, I know we all joke, or we don't joke. We talk about HAARP and what HAARP can cause, and I have to sit here and wonder, did somebody turn it off? And now things are like kind of just going crazy, because even like here in Florida, last week, we've had, 3 storms, Ralphie, that came out of nowhere and just were absolutely insane. I mean, lightning, poor Raphael, like 2 o'clock in the morning, looked out the window and realized he had left the chicken coop open, and it's storming like a MF outside. He said he went out to close it all up. The lightning was so frequent, it was like being out in the day. Like, he did not need a flashlight.
Oh, no.
It was,
absolutely not.
Yeah, fully lit outside from the lightning. So, I mean,
I suppose it's we are both both sides of the Atlantic have had extremely hot weather, and summer's almost over, if not already over. Yeah, you're going to find thunderstorms.
So for you guys, summer's over, but for us, August is the middle of our summer.
Not quite yet. Not quite yet.
Yep.
Never.
Everybody, it's funny because in the States, summer's considered from June to August, but in Florida, like August is our absolute peak of the summer. It's our hottest month. It is our, longest month as far as sunlight. It is the most intense month of the summer for us. And it has been, like, they're telling us these lightning storms that we've been getting out of nowhere are because of the heat dome. And I actually, for once, I'm not saying that's BS. I'm like, yeah, that actually kind of makes sense, because we have been literally, 113 to 115 degrees with the heat index every day, no rain, but a humidity point at like 97, 98%. At some point, something's going to give. It has to. It has to. But unfortunately, again, that kind of lightning, like I couldn't even go to my daughter's house on Sunday. I had to wait it. I was trying to wait it out. And I finally just took a chance, threw on a rain jacket, put up an umbrella, and prayed I didn't get struck, because the lightning was so intense and so frequent. I mean, you don't want to be the tallest object trying to get to your car. You just don't want to be that person.
It's funny. Where I am, I've seen very little rain. A couple spots here there over the last month, and according to the Met Office, it's meant to be rain this week. But it was just last week that local councils were announcing hosepipe bans on small swimming pool bans.
Yep, because they're trying to restrict the water.
Yeah,
but
we've got a major problem in this country with not enough reservoirs.
Well, I know Florida was in an extreme drought for several months. But again, I don't, Mark, I am one of these people where I'm calling BS on some of it, only because I know they sold a lot of the water rights in the state to Nestle, and I know that those guys are still bottling water like fiends, and yet we're being told we have to restrict.
The company the CEO that said he would like to charge everybody water.
Yeah.
For water. Yeah.
It kills me. And go ahead, Rafi.
No, I was going to say, I had just posted about that not too long ago. The tiny hats are buying up water everywhere. They're determined to make it an artificially scarce item so that they can charge for it.
Well, I mean, it actually forces people into, how do we say this, government regulated areas, like where Rafi and I are. Everybody's on well water where we're at. Everybody has a well dug because we're right on top of some really, really deep springs that are beautiful water. In fact, our spring water from Florida is sold and packaged all over the United States. It's really good spring water. It's very fresh, very clean, and it's a very deep aquifer. But, again, when they do these droughts, they come through, and like I noticed they were starting to mark lines going down one of the main roads for water to put piping down for the city. So they're going to try to force people onto city water and off the wells. Why? Because they can't restrict what a well user is using. They cannot put restrictions on wells.
But in the US, there is, and in the UK as well, I've just recently found out, in the US especially, you've got very poor or very poorly maintained infrastructure, especially when it comes to water pipes.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, some of the pipes that are, especially Florida, a lot of the piping is, the older residences, that's copper piping going into the house, and copper doesn't maintain forever. It's actually better to have like PVC type piping. It's much narrower, and in modern times, because people use toilet paper, people use wipes, they use all these things, and they put them in the toilet, and then in a copper pipe that actually eats up the pipe. And once those pipes let go, you have to dig it all up. Everything it's under the foundations. So yeah, they're trying to get the infrastructure updated, but how do you do that? Without costing homeowners a shit ton of money. And again, it's another way to force people from basically living off the land that they pay for. You pay for the land that you're on. You pay for that well to be dug. That water is flowing freely underneath your land. It's your water.
Not everybody owns their own house.
Even the renters, though. The renters take advantage of the wells. I mean, it's a free source of water because, again, it's something where money was put into it. People put wells in. They're on agricultural lands. They should not, like I said, they use the drought as an excuse to say, well, we're going to put everybody on city water so then we can regulate what water you're using. Well, no, when the land was purchased, that was not the agreement.
Well, there's two things here. Obviously, there's the old health and safety issues. You don't want people to get typhoid, as an example.
No. I mean, but our water is filtered. Like, we have a filtration system attached to our well. And also, they do test the well waters. So.
Oh, okay. Also in the UK, there is, with the new Prime Minister, there's been sort of suggestions about publicising or making water companies public facilities. But I think in the UK, at this present moment, we've got no water company that is actually headquartered in the UK. Yeah, I know as far as electricity is concerned, companies like EDF, my own supplier, are based in France, and the French state is one of the biggest shareholders of that company.
It's interesting. It's interesting you say that because when we talk about the richest people in the world, I think everybody's minds always go to like American moguls, Saudis, Chinese. We think of, these nations that are kind of, at those lead points, but actually probably the richest person in the world is in France. And he is involved in arms. He's involved in, I can't tell you how many different things, but he's got enormous amounts of wealth. Comparable to Elon Musk. And it's just a very, very hush thing. They don't talk about him. His name doesn't get dropped very often, but he is incredibly and insanely wealthy and very, very, very powerful. And I always thought about that because, like I said, over here, you've got like my mom the other day. My mom called me all freaked out because she read an article about meats being sold in United States supermarkets that are artificially made. And the fact that they don't have to be labeled as such. And, I said, well, we're semi-protected in Florida because DeSantis passed a law like 3 years ago banning artificial meats from the state. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not packaging it and lying on the labels or, giving it some type of beautiful metaphorical name that it's not. But he did go through the effort to ban it. But, and I kind of got quiet. I said, but Mom, this is what I was trying to tell you about Bill Gates years ago when he was buying up all the farmland. He wasn't buying up the farmland so he could produce agriculturally. He was buying up the farmland to force the cattle business out of business. And so the artificial meat would become the only thing we could have. And I got to tell you, I know for a fact some of these places here in Florida are selling it. And I know Ralphie and I have experienced it because it tastes like freaking chemical. And it's not sold. It is sold as meat. There's nothing on the package that would tell you it's artificial, but when you cook it and eat it, there's definitively a chemical like aftertaste to it. Mm-hmm. So Ralphie, do you agree with me?
Absolutely.
Yep.
It tastes like trash. And the thing about it is not just the meat that they're trying to push out there. If they buy up all the farmland, what else do they get out on top of that? They get the water rights.
Yep. And like I said, COVID did a real doozy on our cattle industry here in the States. It really did. It shut down, I think it was something like 90% of our processing plants. And without the processing plants, you cannot process the meat. So a lot of cattle were being slaughtered and just left to rot. I mean, I think they said it was like 2 years worth of cattle, just completely useless, just rotted. And I mean, that's a lot of people that could have been fed. That was a lot of meat. And of course, as a result, prices of meat in the States skyrocketed. And now, I saw an article yesterday where a liberal pundit was kind of ripping apart Donald Trump about he had given a speech a couple weeks ago about purchasing meat from overseas,
Argentina.
Actually Argentina specifically, and having it imported. Because again, we're having a big problem with our cattle industry right now, and it would bring the cost of our meats down if we had a good supplier. And Argentinian meat is incredible. They have great meat.
Well, there's always been this idea of Brazil and Argentina being probably the biggest two countries, or the two countries that sell the most beef. That used to be the thing back in the 70s and 80s.
I think Argentina still is, because their beef industry is really strong, but they produce incredible meat in Argentina. There's no hormones in it. And that's something I kind of noted that, as they were shredding Trump. And I'm thinking, you know what, though? All of our beef here in the States, completely full of chemicals. They've got hormones in it. It's got just like a bazillion different chemicals. In a way, he's kind of preserving our health if he's getting it from Argentina, because there's no hormones in their beef. I mean, it's a healthier beef.
I only briefly looked at the article this afternoon, but I saw something about Kennedy actually suggested then stop actually making stronger regulations as far as military or food for military personnel. So,
better food.
Yeah.
Yep. Because again, I mean, I think and Ralphie can speak of this much better than I can. I think the officers have an incredible grade of food usually in the military, but I think the general enlisted, it's not so freaking wonderful.
No, it's not that. At least when I was in it, wasn't that bad. But it was. I mean, it is more blue collar meals. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But I mean, I agree with that we should upgrade, make sure they're getting vitamins, the minerals, not the processed foods. These are our warriors. These are our defense. These are our guys that we rely on to keep us safe. And yeah, they should be getting healthy diets, healthy food, the best. I mean, in my book, they should be. They shouldn't be fed grub. They should be fed well.
About school children in the US, and I've seen sort of
oh God, don't get me going.
School canteens. Yeah.
The school, I don't even know. I mean, it's so horrible because we contribute from our taxes. We kick a lot of money into schools, and you would think, I mean, especially during and again, not intentionally trying to kick the Biden administration, but I'm going to kick the crap out of them for this. Billions of dollars into the education system, and literally it wasn't for things to enhance the numbers on kids who could pass the reading tests, who could pass the FCATs, who could actually show that they could add, subtract, read, write, understand history. Oh, no. What did they do with that money? They took that money and they put it into like DEI projects. They put it into, like sex education and shit like that. What? I mean, my own grandkids, they've been in school for several weeks now. My oldest grandson has not had air conditioning in his class since the first day of school. It's 115 degrees outside in Florida. Okay? They have no air conditioning.
I don't know about that bad, but yeah.
With the heat index, it is. It is hot. And they're in those tin can, they're not even in a building. They're in those stupid trailers. That's like being in a tin can. And there's like they have he said, my teacher brought in a fan today, but I mean, he's nauseous in class every day. I'm like, yeah, that's heat exhaustion. At least they were allowed to have their water bottles. But I'm like, to me, that does not conducive to learning. If it's that bad, they need to either put you kids in the auditorium where there is air conditioning, let you take your classes in the auditorium, or let you do it from home until they fix it.
Oh, that reminds me. It was a couple of weeks ago. I think I can't remember which school, but a state school in UK actually decided to actually. It could have been a couple. It must have been just before the summer holidays. Or it was actually no, it was one of those what you would call summer school type things. This school had a sort of summer holiday sort of project, and they decided to shut it up just because of heat.
But it's the thing. I mean, kids can deal with cold. They can always layer up if it's too cold, but you cannot remove all your clothing when it's too hot. So it's like, I mean, I can tell you, Ralphie and I are both useless sometimes during the middle of the day. Like in Florida, it's between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. Those are the time you do not want to be outside. Your UV indexes are through the roof. It's just not safe, really, to be out for doing anything physical at those periods in time. It's just too hot. But we'll tell you that just for 5 minutes, if you're out there, you're nauseous.
Generally, I'm stuck in front of machines inside a room. So quite recently, just in front of these screens. And I tried to do the majority of my stuff in the evenings anyway.
Well, think about it, though. Think about if you were at work in an aluminum can. It's over 100 degrees outside, and you have no working air conditioning. How functional would you be? As an adult, how functional would you be? I mean, my grandson was like, Grandma, my notepad is soaked. It's like, it's all wet and stained now because he was sweating all over the notepad. And I'm like, I don't understand how that happens. Like I said, there's a ton of money that goes into the school systems. They know it's been broken. It was broken when his school year ended last year. In fact, my daughter kept them home the last 2 days because there was no air conditioning, and it's still not fixed. And so it's like, where is the money going? What are you doing? This is your future generation, and yet you're going to complain how these kids don't do what you expect them to do, don't get the grades you want them to get. How are they supposed to do that in that environment? I mean, I know I went to school here, and the days that our air went out when I was in high school, oh my God. I mean, our teachers used to actually take us outside. If the air conditioning went out, they would take us outside, sit us on the grass under a tree, and go with it, because it was inhumane to stay in the buildings when it was not air conditioned. But because of all the violence, the lockdowns, the weapons, and all that, they won't let the kids leave the classrooms. So it's like, I don't even know where to go with that. I was saying that to my daughter. I don't even know how you fix that, because it's, the kids don't want to go. They don't want to be there. It's too hot. But with that, I'm going to take us out for our first break of the evening. See that, Mark? I was paying attention. Ha, 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 ha. All right, guys, hang in there. When we return, we're going to talk more about, actually, we're going to talk about some of the UAV sightings that have been happening lately, because those are up also. Lots going on right now, guys. Hang in there. We'll be back in just a moment with Vixen's Vault.
Awesome. We're on radio break. Hey there, Wobbly. I don't think you qualify for EBT. Though I think every vet should have one.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you on that. Like I said, I think the vets are just, it's insane. It's insane how we treat people. It's just not cool.
Yep.
Is Dave Campione coming in tonight?
He's having a hard time with his iMac because his is in the his computer is in the shop yet.
I thought he only just bought it. He was talking just last week, though. Actually, he was in love with it.
He's not showing
about getting
up.
it fixed.
Yeah, where is Roger though?
I don't know. He did a stream about 6-7 hours ago, and he said he had a long day, so he was gone to bed. But that was about 7 hours ago.
Okay. Well,
don't know.
He's like me. He doesn't turn his computer off. So if he comes in, well, last week, Mark, do you want to recap last week for us, please?
Do I want to know?
Because Nancy wasn't here last week. She has no clue what happened. We had Debbie and Willie come in to help fill in for you.
Okay. Much appreciated to them.
Oh, joy. Here we go.
Yeah.
I can't remember after the conversation, eh?
Yeah. Hollow Earth.
It's a lot.
No.
No, Flat Earth.
Yeah, Flat Earth.
Flat Earth. Yeah, he's a flat earther.
Willie is?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Was Roger here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was, And, when we started to get into it, Debbie got real quiet. But anyways,
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Debbie's show is coming back next month.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm bringing
Is she doing
her.
better?
Things are going better. Hopefully, it won't be on a day I have court. But anyways, she starts back on the 11th.
Oh, good.
Yeah, 2-hour show. 2. Yeah.
Wow. On September 11th? That'll be interesting.
Yeah. I figure, what a great day to either, make it great or bomb it.
This is true.
You know what?
This is true.
See, that's what happened with my sister's birthday. It fell on that day. So, I'm lucky to have a sister, but, hey, okay.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
She was born on 9/11. Yep.
Oh, God.
Yep,
well,
and
I told you my sister's 9/9.
And on top of that, she worked at Shanksville High School as a special ed teacher during that time. So she had to go through all that.
Okay, wait. Why? Okay, so Vicky's texting me right now.
Oh, boy. We got 30
Signal.
seconds. Is she coming in? I know she had some things going on with her teeth.
She said, she's saying, I lost all of our combos. I was like, I'm on air. Let's see.
Well, anyways,
jump in.
Look out, cats, dogs, kids, curtain climbers, crumb beggars, and all those other people out there. Your countdown is right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're back live and on the radio side right now.
Wednesday, August the 26th, 2026, 9:29 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Welcome back to the Vixen'S Vault, everybody. Okay, so when we went off air in the last segment, I had told you I wanted to talk about UAPs when I came back on, and sure enough, I mean, again, guys, it's been a wonky month for me this month, and we're not going to talk about flat Earth. I promise you that, because I just got a report of what happened last week, so that subject will not be broached. Not tonight. Mark, don't do it. I can see you leaning up into that microphone. Do not do it.
Hollow Earth.
But, oh God, was it Hollow Earth or was it Flat Earth?
Well, once he breached the ice wall, he found out that the Earth was hollow on that side. All right, and he reunited. Well, it's still flat to him, but it's flat like a pancake. After he stole a gigantic rubber duck balloon after he escaped from the loony bin back in the day. But anyways, we had to send Simeon Team 6 in with one of the Alex the monkey named after one of my kids to go get him. But they got him. It was Planet of the Apes.
All right, guys. Well, okay, so back to UAPs. So, again, I haven't been on for the last couple of weeks, had, work things going on, family things going on, and plus I got COVID again. And this time it was in my stomach, so that was not fun. But August the 7th, the government went ahead and released another batch of files, including a bunch of memos from the 1950s regarding UAPs or UFOs for those of us who've been on, this subject matter for a long period of time. It was always UFOs, now it's UAPs, whatever. Change the name like it's going to change what it is. Not really. Anyway, the government released this batch from the 50s, and there were CIA notes from the 60s in there and like renderings of sightings. So in other words, pre-digital cameras where we all have camera attached to our phone and can just, look up, shoot the sky. Now, a lot of people would have to basically tell an investigator or speak to officials and describe what they saw, and there would be a rendering drawn by hand. So part of those dumps were the hand-drawn renderings, which I'm sure Dave Campione, one of our co-hosts here, would love to get his fingers on. In fact, I should probably download them for him from the Black Vault because I know the Black Vault will have it. But found that interesting, but also included that were the reports from Afghanistan in 2002 all the way up to 2023. And what a lot of people did not realize is that right before we did our little go in after Osama bin Laden in Afghanistan, raise everybody, Taliban, okay, here we go, opioids here, yep, everything leads to one thing. Before we did all that, Afghanistan was starting to have quite a few sightings, a lot. Like they were really starting to amp up. And in hindsight, I have to wonder, were those U.S. drones? Was that basically a preemptive overflight of us with some technologies that they had not released yet? Because again, I am a massive believer in the fact that a lot of the technology that they rammed down our throat as brand new has been around for multiple decades. Drones being the least of my concerns. But again, a drone back in 2003, think about it, guys. We would see it as obviously an unmanned craft of some kind, and they're fast, they're slick. They don't really, in 2003, we really didn't have anything that looked like that. So yeah, it could definitely have been mistaken in reportings.
When was the first commercial drone?
I don't remember really starting to hear about drones, and I don't even remember seeing like a picture of a drone until like 2000, maybe 2006, 2007. And at that point, it was like, it wasn't the larger commercial scale drones. It was like the little Cracker Jack drones that people, they were selling them next to like the RAV airplanes and stuff like that.
Come on. They had them, on the V-2 rockets originally.
Well, this is what I'm saying. But, I mean, what we fly as drones now compared to what we had back then, it's not the same thing. And I think they were using comparable technology to what we have now publicly back then. I really do believe that.
Mark, you might actually have a pointer. Afghanistan at that period, it wasn't stable. It wasn't as stable as it is now, even though that's still quite unstable. It was after the Iranian and Iraq War, after the Cold War. Why couldn't have some of these things be, I don't know, rockets? What do you call the anti-aircraft rockets or whatever?
That's what I'm saying. I think historically there's been a lot of misidentification. I think historically speaking, probably 95% of what's been citing is probably technology that people misidentified, simply because it's not open to the public. But I mean, and again, I believe we are way more technically advanced than we will ever let on to our public. I mean, far, far ahead of what we've been told. That being said, going back to Afghanistan, yeah, I think a lot of those sightings may have been preemptive oversights. Could have been our military, our spec ops guys going in and trying to figure out who was where and what mountain. Because you forget, Afghanistan is a massively mountainous areas, and that's where a lot of these guys were holed up in the mountains. So
also,
I always
there's ideas, there's arguments. inconclusive arguments about things like the UK SAS and the Australian Special SBS. Were active in that area at the time as well.
I know our guys, some of our special operators that were in that area were on horseback simply because they could not get the equipment in. They had to go on horseback. And yep, that's telling me that is some pretty serious terrain out there. So it would be intelligent for our services to have used drones back then, and absolutely can see them getting misidentified. But that being said, I mean, it's interesting because we're seeing a lot of like extensive clusters of reports right now, especially in the United States. I would say Virginia Beach is just constant. You're constantly getting these reports of these cluster sightings. And again, I'm going to say it. I think those are drones. I 100% think those are drones. I've seen them coming out of Florida too, where they'll show them out over the water, and you see these objects, these glowing objects that are making these quick movements, but they all seem to be in sync with each other. But they're making incredibly fast movement that, there's no way a human being could survive those type of moves. It's just not, it's not doable for the human body.
They don't have Star Trek inertial dampeners.
So they say they might, because one of the other things that actually got kind of dumped in that recent dump was the fact that, again, there is technology that we are not being told about. There was mentions of Solar Warden in that dump. And again, I was, remember years ago, Rafi, I said I believe Solar Warden probably started during Reagan administration, because I believe Star Wars was probably
a funding
Solar
mechanism.
Warden. Yep.
It was a funding mechanism. So, yeah.
And sure enough, that's kind of what some of this information, especially some of the CIA information, that's kind of what it's pointing to. So, I'm very interested to see what the next drop of information is going to say and do, because again, it's kind of it's putting a more cohesive picture together, and it without screaming it from the mountaintop, it's basically saying that, hey, we've been lying to you for the last 50, 70 years about our technology, and we are way further advanced than you think, especially if things like Solar Warden are being spoken about. Because again, that's a program, you can't misidentify what that is. That was literally a space vessel program, not a spaceship, a vessel. Like an ark. They were massive. The Solar Warden ships are massive. Yeah, they're not small.
When I found that diagram explaining what the Solar Warden ships look like, it was basically compared to a Gerald Ford class nuclear aircraft carrier.
Correct.
Which is the largest one we have.
And it's funny because if you watch, again, I always say, watch Hollywood. You want to know what's going on, just watch Hollywood and don't look at some of it as a fantasy. Like when you talk about the Avengers and which one was it? With the Winter Soldier, Captain America, where they had the ships that were like aircraft carriers in the sky.
Yeah. Yeah, you're talking about the SHIELD helicarriers.
Yes. And I remember watching it and thinking to myself, you got to wonder if they took that from Solar Warden, because that's kind of what Solar Warden is described as, except it's not interspace, it's outer space. They're not within, they're without.
Well, come on. When it comes to comics on that end, there was SHIELD and SWORD. SHIELD was for the planet. SWORD was for space.
Yep. What was that Jerry Anderson puppet thing about?
Well, are we talking 1999 or are we talking UFO?
The puppet about having a base that is situated on a aircraft or aircraft sort of thing.
Oh, you're talking about Thunderbirds. Oh, that's a Jerry Anderson one too.
I think Captain Scarlet.
Captain Scarlet. Yeah. Same concept. Puppets and stop animation. I love that.
But do you see where I'm going with this, though? Where a lot of it is, people wanted to say, oh, it was prophetic, it was sci-fi. But, a lot of times many times I've sat back and said, sci-fi is more like sci-fact. it's like a soft sell as to what's actually happening, because we find out 10 years down the line that we actually already had that technology. It's like nanotechnology. We find out 10 years later it's existing.
Okay, I was just going to say, we still haven't got Star Trek like transporters yet.
Oh, so you think, but we do know that they were able to do something very similar to that last year. They were able to transport an object from one side of the world to the other. Now, I don't know exactly how they did that scientifically. I'd have to actually go back and reread
really
the whole
fast.
thing, because
they did it
I
really
didn't
fast.
Get it, but again, it's interesting that, and they'll say, well, the technology evolved from the science fiction. Bullshit. I'm so sorry. No, try again. I don't buy that at all. It's like I look at Star Trek now, like the oldest Star Trek shows, the originals, and I see them walking around with their communicator, and I think of the flip phone, and they have their, like Uhura has her little pad, and I think of an iPad. All this technology that they show in these old shows, and it's like, no.
But why aren't the women still? Why aren't the women? I mean, real women, not these other wannabes, dressed like those women in Star Trek.
Were actually women.
Yeah, actual real women.
It's so funny too, because I'm watching Strange New Worlds. That's the one that follows Pike. And, the first 2 seasons of it, I really enjoyed. And I thought, this isn't so bad. It's not really, they're not pushing the DEI. They're not pushing all the BS. It's not too bad. And then we got into this season. And I'm like, oh, come on. You've pussified Spock completely. I mean, you have made Scotty an idiot. I mean, Uhura's like, what is Uhura? I don't even know. You've got a helmsman that's supposed to be Sulu, who's a lesbian. I am like so done. I'm like, you took again a show that I was starting to enjoy because it wasn't like that, and you went there on me. It was like Discovery. I couldn't even watch Discovery. Discovery drove me nuts. It just was.
Talking of stuff, I was just remembering some of the reviews I've seen of the last week with the recent episode and the introduction of puppets in it.
Oh yeah, they turned into because there was a transporter screw up, and he had put a Muppet in there to test it, and it somehow screwed up and turned the whole crew into Muppets, and then it turns out that it was a dream that Spock had. But it was so PC. It just was. I think one of the reasons I loved the original Star Trek and even Next Generation was that it really wasn't PC. It was about the whole exploration. And what was the one with Jane? Oh God, what was the one with the female captain? That was
the so-called Kirk and who was Kiss at the time.
Say that again.
The Hoover and Kirk and Kiss in 1967.
Okay? So you're talking about oh my God, what's his name? Shatner. William Shatner.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how old is he now? 90. He was.
You know that guy's been sucking down some adrenochrome.
Oh, but he was, Shatner was a Shakespearean actor. And I think, is that Dave Campione? I hear cackling over there. Is that him?
But I am cackling.
I heard that.
He knows it's true. He's
probably healthy.
80-something years old and he looks that young? Going off into space and everything? Come on.
But I know, like I said, he was a Shakespearean actor, and I think when they did not Voyager, what was the next one? Next Generation. the guy who plays Jean-Luc Picard was also a Shakespearean actor.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, they tried to keep kind of in sync with that, and I actually like him. I like The Next Generation. I like the show. I thought it was well done.
Garbage.
No, I thought it was good.
Garbage.
I mean, I like 7 of
Garbage.
9.
Was the best
Deep
Starship
Space
Captain
Nine was
period.
better than The Next Generation. I will tell you that.
Maybe the show was.
Yeah, but everything else
Maybe the
was
show
garbage.
was.
Yeah, garbage.
Yeah, DS9 was good.
Yeah,
DS9 was
DS9.
good. Voyager was good.
Yeah, Voyager. Yeah, Kate Mulgrew was awesome, Captain.
She really was. And actually, I liked the premise of Voyager. I really liked the way they did that.
Sorry,
as you guys,
interestingly, I've been watching a lot of Shatner's 1950 material recently, and he was a better actor. I would argue that he was a better serious actor back in the 50s. There's 2 particular films he made. One where he was a doctor, a medical practitioner, and another one where it was the defense. It was more of a screenplay than a film, but it was the defense for the officers during the Andersville trials after the American Civil War.
Oh, I thought at first you were talking about Red Dwarf there for a minute.
Oh God!
All right.
No, I think Shatner, and it's funny because the first year Star Trek was actually out, and you have to remember, guys, Star Trek didn't have a very long run. It was just their seasons were way long. Like, I can't even believe a season for a show now is 8 episodes. I mean, back then a season for a show was 25 episodes.
27.
So
Average 25 to 27 episodes for a season at one time.
Yeah, I mean, it's so frustrating for me now watching TV. I get mad because I'm like, you get 8 episodes. You don't even understand half of what's going on because there's not enough information because there's only 8 episodes.
And on unions.
I blame it on the fact that the pay channels want you to continue to pay to subscribe. Yeah. So, especially things like Game of Thrones and stuff like that with HBO, where 8 episodes, and I got to tell you, what is it? What's the new one called? Not Game of Thrones.
Damn. We were doing House of the Dragon.
House of Dragon.
Horrible.
It was the season finale was, I wanted to blow my TV up. I am not playing. I'm like, that was probably, the whole season was just like kind of rammed down your throat. There was really no synergy to it. And then you got to the 8th episode, which is the season finale, and you're still kind of left in the same place you were in the first episode. And I'm like, that's ridiculous, and then you got to wait another year for another season. What?
Jeez.
It's insane. Yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying. But there again, I have found other shows that I enjoy, like Silo on Apple TV. I love that show. I think that's got a great premise. In fact, I wanted to mention real quick before I take it out to break, as the show, we're in season 3 of the show Silo, and basically it's about this underground, I guess you could say, city that, in fact, it reminds me of Dulce, New Mexico, where it's like supposed to be like 15 to 20 levels, except this is like 100 levels underground, and they don't know how they got there. They don't know what happened on the surface of the planet that forced everybody into this silo, but it's like 300 years in the future after whatever event occurred. But the show does kind of show you flashbacks into little things, and like this season, it's finally trying to explain to us how the silo came into existence, what is running it, why they have these extreme fail safes in the silo so people don't figure things out. But one of the scenes it showed was a multi-millionaire or billionaire. It reminded me of Elon Musk so much I can't even tell you. where he's trying to explain why he wants to build these silos, and he's explaining all the things that can happen to cause a mass catastrophe that could wipe out civilization. And the one that concerned him the most was nanotechnology. And when he was explaining why, he said, because it's cost effective. You could build something that could wipe out as much as a high yield nuclear weapon cannot wipe out for not even an eighth of the cost using nanotechnology. So that was his great fear, that that's what was going to actually cause, a humanity ending scenario. And when I thought about it, I thought that's actually kind of brilliant because it's true. I mean, nanotechnology can, by its very being, can collectively be spread out in particles that are so finite you can't detect them, and then build a collective into something that cannot be stopped. So I thought it was a really cool premise. And to my listeners that have not seen that show, if you have Apple TV, watch that show. It's a really, really good show. It's like The Paradise on Hulu. Very good shows. Didn't see it coming. Really good premise. Really well written. And yeah, I have Apple TV because I also watch Monarch. I admit it. I like King Kong and Godzilla. Can't help myself. Don't know what to do. Dave, I'm glad you're on with us because I did mention you earlier because of the latest US UAP dumps on August 7th. I'm going to try to get those files for you because they have the artistic renderings of sightings from the 1960s and late 50s and 60s that are in that dump from the CIA files. And I know I can get them off the Black Vault. So I'm going to try to download them and send them to you so you can compare them to your father's work.
Yeah. Well, what my dad did, it was just local. That was all in Philadelphia, southern New Jersey, and northern New Jersey. Yeah, mostly in Philadelphia and the Pine Barrens. Yeah. Yeah,
the Pine Barrens. Yeah. Oh, the Pine Barrens. Such a fun place.
Yeah.
Dumping ground for the mafia. It's also, I always say that there's a lot of lore in the Pine Barrens, and I mean, there's good reason for it, but being a hot spot for UFO sightings is just the tip of the iceberg with that. It reminds me of, as weird as it sounds, whenever I think of the Pine Barrens, I think of the Black Forest in Germany.
Right, yeah, okay.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
But it's the same type density. It's got the same history.
Yeah.
Very anomalous occurs. I mean, just really weird stuff that occurs in both locations.
Yeah.
And I've personally been to the Pine Barrens. I camped in the Pine Barrens. In fact, I was in a floating tent because it rained so hard, and we had camped on the side of a hill. and not only that, but my children's tent passed me in the floating because they were above me on the hill. Oh, God, memories. All right, guys, with that, I'm going to take us out to our long break for the evening. When we return, we'll talk more about UAP sightings and again, some more of the information. Antarctica's been in the news again, so I want to hit that subject, too, while we're at it. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
All right, we're back on Radio Break.
See, I'm keeping up, Mark. I'm being a good girl, and I even had Dave here.
I am doing so great tonight because I got a brand new pipe that came in today. You see this?
Cool.
What a gem, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be like Sherlock Holmes pipe.
Yeah.
What material?
Yeah.
What it's made out of?
Yeah.
What it's made out of?
What's that?
What is it made out of? What?
It's
wood?
cherry and plastic stem. That's the only drawback is the plastic stem. They always melt on me.
Yeah, Nancy, what they used to, Air Force had a plastic, a sheet with all the different. I don't have one. I don't think my dad ever had one, with all the different designs of the craft over worldwide.
Yep.
And I don't know. I haven't seen one in probably 30 years. So.
Well, I said when I was talking about on the air that, you have to remember that during the 50s and the 60s, nobody had a phone that had a camera attached to it. When there were sightings, 90% of the time, nobody had a camera anywhere near the vicinity.
Yeah.
So it was renderings. People had to describe what they saw, and there was an artistic rendering drawn up.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, sometimes, Dave, I think those renderings are more accurate than the photographs are. There's more detail.
People have to remember.
By unanimous vote by me and Larry, we're going to bring back the original series, Land of the Lost. We have cast members already set up. We're planning to have you lead as the lead role of I can't think of the name of the guy. Yeah.
Please
well,
next.
you and Raph can probably both play that in that. But anyways, yeah. Marshall Hill, Will, and Holly on a routine expedition. Yep.
Well, Larry, by the way, thank you very much for that most recent meme on my page, which Raphael very promptly loved. Thanks so much for that. Shut up, Raphael.
Oh, stay tuned. He's supposed to make one for me. Yeah.
He's
with
monster.
with Willie hunting slee stacks in the Hollow Earth.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! I think he must be listening because she dumped a video of these mudslides in Nepal.
Oh,
Hang on a minute. Let's see if I can get into that and download it. Hang on a second. No, I don't want to pin it.
Yeah, I've been watching those videos. God, they said it was from an earthquake. I was a
Yeah, they're saying it came, but I have never seen. Even the tsunami was not like that in Japan. That's just here. I got the video. I'm going to dump it in the Teams app. Hang on a minute.
Those buildings were just pushed over like cardboard.
Dude, like it was nothing.
Nothing.
That's Marcos, I heard like 9 people are dead. I'm like, oh no, it's way more than that.
I saw people get hit with the mud. Right? Jesus, one little footage, about 30-second footage. Yeah. There's hundreds and hundreds.
I would say there's thousands dead. That just from the violence of what I saw, it's oof. All right, here we go.
We got about another minute, probably, and then we're gonna switch rooms. Don't go too fast, too far. I did update the banner, okay, because I realized that Debbie's times were wrong, and it made her a brunette instead of a blonde.
Can't have that.
But I fixed it. It. It's fixed now.
All right, I think that video should be in there. You guys should be able to tap on it and watch it. Let's see if I can pull it up.
Mickey's, I'll get it when we come back. After we get pushed off.
Yeah, that's insane. Holy shit, that is insane.
Yeah. John was talking about that earlier on Censorship Sucks, about the stuff in Nepal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I know they're not talking about the Colombian earthquake last week because that was massive.
Yeah.
There are thousands dead from that. That was horrible.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Do you think that any of this is because of EMP weaponry?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That's been discussed on Nino and brought up by people like Juan Savin.
I believe it's EMP. I believe they're trying to mask it as solar activity because it does show our EMF rates they're skyrocketing.
Yeah.
And the solar radiation is skyrocketing. What they're calling solar radiation is skyrocketing, but all that equals what? EMP.
Right.
So I 1,000% believe that they're utilizing EMP weapons. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And again, they'll say, "Oh, it's global warming. It's this. It's that." They'll have every excuse in the book. It's a war.
Yeah.
You're watching a war unfold.
Yeah. It's not just an information war. It's
Yeah, you're watching an actual physical war at this point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Against who and who?
I think you have. It's kind of, how do I explain this, Mark? You actually have countries within their own, dissidents within their own countries fighting each other. It's literally to say
it's an oligarch war, basically.
Well,
attack
an
oligarch
really
war.
Cliche, it is the deep state, the deep state versus everybody else, and like I said, deep state.
Yeah, and we'll be right back with more Vixen's Vault for hour 2. So stand by. I will get them back up and running. I wanted to let them run their time down a little bit so we can leave at a good time. Let me get us back up and running here. Do 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 do. Welcome back, welcome back. Sorry you had to get cut off.
Oh yeah,
that's what it is.
We're back.
I'll try Roger again. Maybe he's done napping.
Oh, okay. What's Vicky? She's not in tonight.
Vicky had oral surgery.
Oh God. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Wow. It's Mark Edworthy's not back yet. He'll be back.
Yeah. He's here to talk.
There he is.
Yeah, he's here to talk the terms of service and how it relates to Red Dwarf. In Jerry Anderson series. In the Jerry Anderson space series.
Yeah.
Right. Oh boy.
How about that? You're all right.
I'm just looking at this video that you gave us, and then see, yeah, wow.
Take another drag, Mark. It'll make things better. Take another drag, Mark. It'll make things better.
Yeah, that, like I said, I felt like I was watching 2012 or something. When I was looking at those videos, I was like, wow, that's some brutal devastation. And that's not even one of the, some of the bigger bridges, because some of the ones that I'm seeing showing up on social media, Telegram in particular, I mean, you're talking like massive bridges that are just gone.
Yep.
Has there been any press release from the government, Nepal's government?
I believe they released one earlier this afternoon. And they are saying it was an earthquake, but I'm not getting any. I have not seen anything as to what level of seismic activity it was.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, to take a river and pretty much throw it down a mountain, yeah, you're talking some serious wiggling going on.
Yeah.
That's not a small shaker, and that's literally what you're looking at. When I said it looked like a tsunami of a mud, I mean, it was literally like a mud tsunami.
Yeah.
Insane.
Wobbly was saying too something about Peru.
Yep, Peru has been Peru, Colombia, Brazil.
Yeah, that's all been super active.
The area between Chile and Antarctica had a huge shaker earlier this week.
I also saw something about Italy as well.
Italy's volcanoes are active again.
Yeah.
So, then you've got Hawaii, and Hawaii's actually getting hit right now by 2 hurricanes that are intersecting, and their volcanic activity's through the roof.
30 seconds.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did see that volcano going off in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah, Kilauea's going off, and you've got 2 hurricanes that are literally colliding with each other and merging.
Yeah, a lot of water.
And here's your countdown. We're live.
Okay, that is not.
Sorry about that.
We're back. 10:05 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Wednesday, August the 26th, 2026, and you can hear the little tad bit of annoyance in my voice because Mark just said, "Okay, here's your countdown. We're live." What? What? How does that work, Mark? How does that work?
I'm trying to figure that one out myself. I went from like 26 seconds to like 2, and I'm like, okay, we're live. Like,
so basically it was like lag. Ah, let go.
Yeah,
I gotcha. All right, we're on it, brother. Welcome back to the show, everybody. While we were off air, I think my co-hosts were given the chance to kind of view the video I dropped of what's going on over in Nepal.
Yeah.
And guys, do you not agree with me? That is some really freaky stuff. Seriously, lots of earth moving. Let's just put it that way. And yes, Mark, way more than 8 or 9 people dead.
Actually, yeah, I've got a Telegraph article up here saying the hundreds are missing.
Oh, yeah. I would put it into the thousands because, like I said, some of the videos I'm watching are showing entire villages being wiped out while people are like trying to get out of the village. You can see the people trying to flee. A lot of these videos are coming from observers who had got to a high ground area and were trying to, and you can hear them screaming at people pretty much. I'm assuming they're telling them to run because I can't understand a word they're saying. But from the hysteria in their voice, and I mean, I watched the one video where you can see them trying to make their way up to a little bit of a higher ground on this like trail, and half the trail gets hit by a the mudslide, and like you can see the people just gone. The whole half of file of people gone, just gone, and you see them like some of them bobbing in the waves, but not for very long. So it's a pretty serious situation over there, and I would not wish that on anybody, honestly.
No, really bad.
It's kind of like it was like with Japan. We all just kind of watched the videos coming in abject horror because what do? There's water is probably the most dangerous force on the planet.
Yep.
I mean, to me, it's more dangerous than fire. It is just ridiculously dangerous, and at least fire, you can find ways to try to protect yourself. You can try to dig down, get underground until the fire passes over. There's ways to try to get around fire, but water, there's no getting around that.
No.
There's no getting around that. It's too strong. Even people say, well, you can climb a tree. No, the tree's going to come down.
No, the tree's going down.
Yeah, maybe you can float on the tree, but climbing the tree not going to work out so well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did. It absolutely reminded me of like what was the other one? Was it Armageddon, where they're trying to outrun the impact of the meteor, and he's got the baby and the girl. They're going up the mountain. That's kind of what a lot of this reminded me of. It just wow, horrific situation.
According to the BBC, and this is 10 minutes ago, more than 150 or 157 people have been confirmed to be killed.
Wow.
God knows where their bodies are.
And hundreds
That's
more
what I'm saying.
But yeah, that's not confirmed at the moment.
30, 50 miles away.
Put it this way, Mark. When Helena did what she did and caused the impacts in the Carolinas and in Kentucky and Tennessee, we were told, to this day, a couple of hundred died, which is a load of BS because they're still digging up bodies in the Carolinas, or even better yet, the fires in Maui. A couple of hundred people died in those. No, there were thousands that are still unaccounted for those fires.
Yeah, but you've
thousands.
got to, for somebody to be dead, you've got to confirm that they are dead.
So what do you do then when you can't find bodies? That's what I'm saying.
As an authority, you treat them as missing people.
Well, I think what I'm saying, though, is they use the numbers to misrepresent. And they've done that historically. I know in the States they do it historically all the time. When Charlie hit and took the U-turn from Pine Island and marched up the center of the state over Orlando, I think they said 9 people died. No, we lost close to 1,000 people. I mean, I know that because my mom worked in insurance. She owned an insurance agency when that happened. So they were getting the real numbers into the agency, but the state was squashing it because they didn't want the tourists to stay away. So they were basically fudging the numbers. So, basically they were saying they counted the people who literally died from like storm surge and on the direct hit to Pine Island. Those are the only deaths that were counted as deaths from Charlie. The people who died in Orlando because they were wiped off the road, struck by lightning, power lines dropped on them, you name it, because of that storm, they were not attributing those deaths to the storm. They were attributing the deaths to whatever specific thing killed them, that's BS. It's BS. They died from the storm.
I can sort of see the argument on this. If you're going to die of a heart attack, let's say in 10 minutes time, it doesn't matter if you're in the middle of a flood or if you sleeping at home. You're going to
it does matter, because during a hurricane, if you have a heart attack, there is nobody coming out to help you. They can't legally. EMS cannot deploy during those storms. In fact, they warn people. That's why they tell people to evacuate, especially people with medical needs. Get out of an area, because EMS, once they close it down, it will not reopen until it is safe to resume, which means that the winds have calmed down enough and that the water is not too high. I know that. I worked in the field. So, yeah, they will not deploy us. I mean, once the storm is hitting, you're screwed. If you have a heart attack, you're dying, because EMS is not coming to you.
No.
You better pray that you've got something there that can help you, because you're not going to get a medic. It's sad, but it's true. But again, it is what it is. That's why people are told to evacuate. But in that other side of that, Orlando was not told to evacuate, because they did not expect Charlie to be at a 2 when it hit. And especially not in the middle of the state. On the coast, you can see that, but the middle of the state, no, not normal. But again, it was like COVID, Mark, where they were, if you died in a car accident and you tested positive for COVID, you were a COVID death.
That's right.
What?
Yeah, get knocked over by a bus and you, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They use death, they use numbers to manipulate an outcome. In Florida, when Charlie hit, they did not want the tourists being freaked out. They wanted them to continue to go to Disney World, especially Orlando. Continue to show up for your vacation at Disney World. It'll be fine. It might be underwater, but you'll have a great time. Nobody died. You're good.
Yeah.
And that's not really what was true.
No.
So and with COVID, it was like, oh, wait, everybody's dying of COVID, even if they, threw themselves off a building. If they happened to test positive, it was a COVID death. It was definitely not that fall from the building. It's true, though. I mean, because the more deaths they showed under COVID, the more money was matted out.
35,000 if it was a COVID death. $30,000 is what hospitals were getting. The maximum.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It was crazy. Like I said, it was the way it was done. Death was pushed rather than avoided. Oh, I know they tried to kill you, babe. Wasn't happening.
Oh yeah, Nancy gave us the blow by blow when Rafi was in there.
Oh God, I was so mad. Oh, I was so mad. I was so sick myself, but I was so mad. I mean, it was so obvious what they were doing.
Yep.
And especially when they found out he was VA insurance. Yeah. I mean,
that's right. Get him, kill him.
And because I was Latino.
Well, here's the thing that really killed me, because Ralphie, you guys remember the first hospital Ralphie was in, they gave him remdesivir. His blood oxygen was pretty low, but he literally was yelling at the whole hospital that they were trying to kill him. They would not release him after 5 days. After the doctor said he could go, they wouldn't release him. And so he yanked out his line, called a friend of his that's an attorney, had him pick him up. But he left the hospital without a doctor's permission and against their orders. But here's the thing. The VA paid for that whole thing, which tells me they lied on their paperwork.
Yeah.
Because you submit a claim where you have gone against doctor's orders, the carrier will deny the claim.
Mm-hmm.
And yep, Rafi's claim was covered fully to the tune of well over $100,000.
Yeah.
So
they charged the VA over $100,000, even if I've just fractured my legs. They charged them $162,000.
Yep.
Held me there for 24 hours, gave me every test under the sun that had nothing to do with a fractured knee. And $162,000 later, your taxpayer dollars. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
That's okay. You're still with us. It's worth it.
Well, that was funny because that was another case with the knee, because Rafi went, he got transported by himself with the knee.
Yeah.
And I, after I think I understood them keeping him the first night, but then I'm talking to him the next day. He's like, oh no, they want to still keep me. I'm like, oh hell no, get in the car, drive down to the hospital, go into the room. And I'm like, no, there is no reason to keep him here. This is ridiculous. Well, we need to order him special this and special that. So I was like, do you have crutches? What do you mean you're ordering a walker? How is he supposed to use a walker? He has a broken knee. How is that supposed to work? Can you please explain that to me? Oh yeah, his physical therapy lady hated me. She hated me. She really hated me.
Yeah, but my nurse was hot.
Your nurse was awesome. Your nurse liked me.
Yeah.
Your PT hated me.
Yeah.
But I mean, she liked me. She knew I was right.
Yeah, there were definitely some personality conflicts there.
Oh yeah, the PT therapist was just all about keeping Ralphie for as long as they could. And I'm like, yeah, no, he's going today. Get his stuff together.
Interestingly, I'm just looking at a couple of reports here. I'm going to take the first one with pinch of salt because it's a Facebook post. But according to the Facebook post, there's 387 foreign, presumably tourists, that have not been accounted for in Nepal.
Oh God, dude, we're still within a couple of hours.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no.
And also, I was just reading a report that was produced by the OCHA, so the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Human Affairs. They released a report in October 2020, talking about a flood in Nepal, India, back in 2014, where there was... just saw the number there. I think, 156 people, 156 deaths, and 476 people still not found between 2014 and 2020.
What is it, 7 years before you can be declared legally dead? I think it's 7 years.
Yeah, I think that depends on the country, individual jurisdiction, but 6 years. Actually, no, I think it's maritime law, isn't it? 6 years.
I'm not sure. I think in the States it's 7, because I know the people from Helena are still waiting because they can't claim benefits. They can't claim insurance benefits, life insurance benefits, because their loved ones aren't declared dead yet.
I think this could change from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, but maritime law states 6 years for international law.
Gotcha. But yeah, it's kind of, like I said, it's crazy. And yeah, with Ralphie, it was definitively his insurance. Definitively. As soon as they saw it, VA is a sucker, man. And they knew he was out of network too, because he had to go with the knee.
Well, no,
with all of it. You were out of network.
Anything that's emergency, the VA will cover. So the ambulance picked me up after I had worked through my shock, finished my task, worked through my shock, and took a shower. Then I called the ambulance.
He literally went.
I was not going to the hospital looking all that, looking like a hot mess like I was. And all sweaty.
You still look like a hot mess.
Yeah.
At least, you were not sweaty and dirty, but you still look like you got hit in the face with an iron, because he hit when he fell off the ladder, he hit the side of the house with his face. I think he hit the side of the house and his face bounced off and hit the concrete. So, I mean, he looked like he'd been smacked in the face.
Close enough. Close enough.
And he was fighting me the whole time. I wanted to call for EMS at the house. I was like, yeah, you need to go. I kept saying to him, you need to go. You hit your head. You need to go. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. No, he was not fine.
Well,
he was definitely not fine.
Why are you going to say that? He doesn't want to go.
Well, this is a guy who, when he stepped on the nail on the board, he walked around. He walked around with the board, literally the nail through his foot, board attached. He walked around for like another hour.
I was simulating cross-country skiing.
Driving a nail through so that.
Oh my God! But like I said, he's definitely a trooper. But they will, man. If you don't go in there, and I remember saying to him when he broke his knee, because he saw it in my face when I came in, because I was like, "This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous." And it was the PT girl in there at the time. She's like, little mealy mouth. And the nurse came in, and the nurse like, what's going on? And I was like, he needs to be released. This is crazy. I was like, why are we holding him still? He has a fractured knee, not a broken neck. It's a fractured knee.
Because they have to think of more tests. They have to think of more tests they can give me so they can bill VA for.
More money.
No, actually, your physical therapist was like, because we are special ordering him a walker. And I'm like, I lost it. I completely lost it when she said that. And the nurse was laughing at me because I was just like, a walker for what? And she goes, well, then we have to do physical therapy to make sure he can use the walker. I'm like, he's not going to be able to use the walker. He's got a broken knee. How is that going to work? He needs crutches.
If they would have given me a power stroller like your dad has, I would have gone. I would have stayed.
With a scooter?
I'm sure you would have.
Oh, that thing! Let me tell you something. Her dad's power.
Oh, come on! Oh, come on! Come on! It's Raph in Walmart.
Dude,
it'd be like, he'll be just like one of those people in Walmart at like 2 or 3 in the morning.
I'd be joyriding through the aisles with
popping wheelies.
Possible.
Putting it on its side. Get out of here! Come on.
Trying to replicate the Dukes of Hazzard with General Lee on 2 wheels.
My mom actually refuses to take my father in public with that wheelchair because he runs people over. She will not take that wheelchair with her because she's like, he hits people. He like runs into people to get them out of his way. I'm like, oh no, that's a mess. But that's a kick-ass wheelchair. That thing is really cool.
Interestingly, there's been talk for many years now in the UK about actually putting license plates on electric wheelchairs, treating them as automobiles.
That's ridiculous.
That's just the UK trying to make money off everybody's money that they've already made money off of, as usual. All right, guys, with that, I got to take us out to our final break of the evening. Hang in there. When we're back, we will continue our conversation, which has kind of gone off into nowhere. I've lost control, but that's normal. We'll talk to y'all in a few moments.
All right, you're on radio break.
Hang on 1 second. Molly! I got to put me on mute. Hold on, I got to yell at my dog.
Oh. Didn't see any Molly here.
Crazy ass little dog. Go inside.
Oh.
Dave, I gotta tell you, we've got some kind. Like, it's cooler outside right now. When I went out back, it's like a cool breeze. I can feel a difference in the air temp. It's not like molten heat in my face.
I had 71 this morning.
Yeah, I did post Larry's pictures that he did with the Slee Stack in chat.
Oh, no.
So yeah, and I did an updated version of it too. So yeah.
Oh, there. I see it. Wait, hold on. Merged into... Oh, my God.
Isn't it great?
Oh, boy.
We looked all around. We couldn't believe the things we found.
William Shatner. Have
Falling
any of you ever kissed a girl? Oh, my God.
1,000 feet below to the land.
Is that Cthulhu?
Of the lost.
No, okay. That is headphones. All right, there I got it. Jeepers creepers.
Just on a routine expedition.
Good Lord. I quit. Can I quit? No.
Can't find your way back.
And you're still singing.
Oh, yeah.
Mark, officially,
I am going to come up with a great song for this. AI. I love it. Now, who will we get to sing it? Social Distortion, Lords of Acid, or
Lords
Disturbed.
of Acid. I haven't heard that in a long time. Oh, Disturbed. I could do. Definitely could do Disturbed. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm actually back in the house now. Air conditioning. Yay. I try not to stay too close to where Rafi is because otherwise we'll
get feedback.
Excuse me. Yeah. But I am still not feeling wonderful, so I'm like, I'm going to go in the house. You can hear it in my voice. I know you can because I can hear it in my voice.
Yeah, you're getting tired. I can tell.
Not tired. I just, like I said, I've been fighting this thing for a week and a half now, and it just, man, it just rears its head. I'll have days where I feel better, and then I'll have days where I eat something, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to puke it up everywhere. This is not good. I thought at first it might be food poisoning, and I said that to Ralphie, maybe it's food poisoning because it was violent. But about a week into it, I'm like, yep, this is not food poisoning. Yeah, definitely not food poisoning.
24 hours, 48 hours at max?
72 at max, but I mean, this is and then I saw this article about the new variant of COVID and how it's kind of like almost like a bipolar, and it was saying you get it one of two ways. You either get it in the chest and in the head with like the respiratory symptoms, or you get it really badly in gastrointestinal. And I'm like, yep, I got number 2. That was awesome. Thank you. So glad I won that prize. Yay.
Well, we got about 30 seconds. Yeah, I say
swear
about.
I got it from my daughter.
I say about because you know how the last time worked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think you just like baiting me.
No, I'm not. Would I do a thing like that? Don't answer.
Never.
Don't answer. You know, enough peanut gallery tonight. Here's your countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh man, it's taking a long time. 1, and you're back live and on the radio side right now.
10:29 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Wednesday, August the 26th, 2026. That is the last time I'm going to say that tonight. Welcome back to the Vixen'S Vault. And yeah, I've decided I'm going to strangle my producer because he's just having way too much fun with the countdowns going back into the show. I'm thinking that either he has lag or he's just really trying to get on my nerves tonight.
Oh, and
it's
you're live.
Toss-up.
You're live.
See what I'm saying? See, this is what see how he does me? This is what he's been doing to me all night. It's so much fun. Okay, back to the subject at hand. And again, we're talking about the natural catastrophes and, could it be an EMP? Could it be an EMP weapon? Could it be an EMF weapon? Yes, yes to all of the above. And I want to note again that there was a large quake between Chile and Antarctica. Again, this is like the 3rd or 4th one this year. Not little quakes. Like these are 6.0 and over. Those are big quakes. And very, very, very strategically placed. Because again, I know Mark, I can see Mark's face going, yeah, but as a person who, again, I've been involved in the UFO fields for a very long time, even, what we'll call interesting archaeological fields, yeah, Antarctica plays a huge part in a lot of these things. There's a lot of unanswered questions about Antarctica, going back to Admiral Byrd, preceding Admiral Byrd.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that have occurred in Antarctica that have never been explained and probably never will be. We have a lot of assets in Antarctica. Antarctica has its own laws, its own constitutions. It's considered international, yet it's not. There are areas that you cannot access, period, end of sentence, end of story.
Well, we have we have agreements about the ice wall, all right? And Willie violated them last week.
Oh, gotcha. It's all about the ice wall agreement. That explains why Google Earth absolutely will not zoom down into certain areas of Antarctica. End of sentence. And basically their reasoning is, well, the satellite. No, don't give me that crap, because when Google Earth first went up, the satellites did. And those were older satellites, not the newer ones. So why, all of a sudden, are we no longer able to pull up certain coordinates that showed us very interesting things, by the way, when you got in close? Objects that shouldn't be there.
Molly.
So, and Rafi just forgot the fact that he's very close to me on a microphone. But again, you have a lot of things that are off with Antarctica. The most recent of which were, of course, when Donald Trump won the presidency in 2016. I will never forget the sequence of events that occurred that involved Antarctica when DJT won the 2016 presidency. We had
visiting.
World figures, not nobodies. You're talking John Kerry. You're talking Neil Armstrong. You are talking
Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin, major figures who were there
Putin.
within a month and a half of each other. The Pope,
Putin.
Huge figures, and nobody explained it. There was never any reason given. It was like a coincidence, and the only reason it really kind of became public was because I want to say it was Buzz Aldrin that got sick. One of them got sick.
Yeah, Buzz.
And,
it was Buzz.
Yep, as a result, the roster started appearing. And nobody on the news even questioned it. Nobody said after John Kerry was just in it. Oh, wait, wasn't Vladimir Putin just there 2 days ago? No. None of this was ever it was like they forgot the fact they were reporters for a few minutes. It's like, oh, well, no, this is not a coincidence. This is just normal that all these world figures are in Antarctica. The most absolute. Rafi, you're on the mic.
Sorry, let me hit mute. I'm sorry.
Why would major politicians be in the area unless it's for a conference? If there was something happening that you would have politicians, world leaders there, you would have diplomats, you have NGOs.
Yeah.
You have,
Why would John Kerry, who was at the time he was down there, was the Secretary of State? Or was he? No, what was he? Secretary? No, Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. What was John Kerry?
He just went on his own.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, he did.
No, I mean, the thing, Mark, that's the question.
But the thing is, what place is more neutral than Switzerland? Oh, Antarctica. There we go. Antarctica.
Well, and again, though, what place also? Well, you can say that, Mark, but it's also it's way more dangerous. I mean, Switzerland, you can go to Switzerland, and if something happens, you have a medical facility right there. If you go to Antarctica and something medical occurs, you have to be evacuated. Mm-hmm. You have to wait, and if the weather's not good, you're screwed. That's why they have their.
If you've got these people down there, these very important people, then you'll have your medical services with you.
No, not
they don't have the line.
They don't, Mark. They don't have the facility for the medical down there. That's the thing. It's
the one of the
buildings. You can stick.
I mean, that's.
Buildings up.
What was it? They have I think it's their appendix to be stationed in Antarctica, I still believe it's part of the protocol. You have to have your appendix removed before you go, because they cannot, if your appendix ruptures when you're in Antarctica, they cannot treat it, and you will die before they can get you off site to be treated. And I know that I knew somebody who went down there years ago, and he said, "Oh yeah, no, everybody has to have their appendix removed." And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, because if it ruptures, you're screwed." So again, it's one of those things where, you go to Switzerland, you go to a normal neutral country, you have everything available to you. You have full medical, you have everything's right there. Antarctica is in the middle of nowhere. It's worse than the Arctic Circle. It's a lot larger. So, I mean, at least in the Arctic, you've got like countries up there that are actually developed. In Antarctica, there's like nothing developed down there. Nothing.
There are plenty of scientific bases down there that are owned by various countries.
We have plenty of scientific bases, and you know what? Every year, we have massive losses from people in the field down there.
Okay.
I mean, it's something you have to pay attention to. Like, their icebreakers, I think 2 have sunk in like the last 5 years. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that occurs going in and out of Antarctica. Then you have the airspace that is down there that is completely like, you can't fly through certain airspace between Africa and South America. And it's a glob, they say, that is, I believe they said I don't think it's the hole in the ozone. It's a hole in the magnetosphere. And I remember hearing about this 20 years ago, that there was an area between South Africa and South America that airplanes could not fly through, and that the area moved. It was not something that was stationary. It moved. And it was a hole in the magnetosphere. And the problem was that the radiation would kill you if you flew through it. And supposedly that area has now expanded. It's much larger. And I know you can look this up. This is not conspiracy stuff. This is actual scientific fact, or stated scientific fact. I am still of a mind to question whether or not it's true, or whether or not there's activities going on in those areas that they just don't want commercial airlines having anything to do with, or be anywhere in the vicinity of. Because we don't know if our military flights are allowed through that airspace. We just know it's closed airspace. And I've always said that we're always, unfortunately, subject to whatever story we're being told. And we are expected to just accept that story and not question it. And I think if history has taught us anything in the last, 5 to 7 years, it's that you really have to question everything. Because 99.9% of the time, you're going to find out that they have left out about 90% of the facts. And that you cannot possibly make an intelligent decision off the information you're being given. And again, COVID is a perfect example of that. How were people supposed to make good, intelligent decisions for their own welfare when they were being lied to? And it wasn't lied to because they didn't know. It was lied to because there was money to be made. That is really sad when, people still to this day have a hard time accepting that. It's like, no, they didn't go out there balls to the wall, the 6-foot rule, the masks, all that crap, because they were trying to look out for your health. Oh, no. They made a fortune off the masks. An absolute 3M banked in a huge way off those masks. All these little companies.
If I'm not mistaken, there's warehouses still in the UK with those masks. We have idiots here that are masking up because, again, COVID's making the rounds again, or what they're calling COVID is making the rounds again. And of course, they're trying to push. I've already seen the articles now starting to push in the papers or in the media, trying to push the fact that this is more like the original COVID. In other words, be afraid. People are going to start dying again. That's what that is when they say this echoes the original COVID. That's exactly what they're saying. It's fear porn again. I still know people who still wear masks even now, and virtually haven't taken them off since 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years
Well,
ago.
God help them. They really, actually, Mark, because I do have medical experience, I can tell you if they take them off now, they're going to get incredibly sick. I will tell you that without even blinking, because they have now pretty much decimated their own immunity system. The whole idea of allowing yourself to be exposed to certain things is because your body learns to fight it off. You are exposed to literally millions of viruses, millions of bacteria every day, every single day, and your immunity system learns to fight it off. If you are avoiding those viruses, like using the stupid antibacterial fucking soaps and the rubs and the alcohol, and you are literally destroying your own immunity system doing that. You're weakening it. I mean, I always laugh because I always think our parents were so right. You know, my mom, if we ate dirt, my mom was like, oh, well, go get a washcloth and wash your face. It didn't freak her out because, her way of looking at it was you're building your immunity system. Have fun. As long as there's no poison in there, you're good. But
the thing is, though, during COVID, that was one of the things that we discovered is that, like, if you go back, I mean, even the Brady Bunch had an episode where one of the kids got measles, so they had a measles party so that they can all get the measles and develop the immunity naturally. And that's the way it was back in the day. But they're trying to sell the idea that immunity comes from a vaccine. An injector, a vaccine.
And actually, that did nothing. Well, here's the thing, though, Mark. If anything,
technically, none of them were technically vaccines.
Nope, they were not.
No.
They were immunotherapy.
Yeah.
Which makes it actually more dangerous because it was immunotherapy using CRISPR. It was genetic immunotherapy. That is like not even funny. That's insane. And we were experimenting on with it. That's not even funny. But, like I said, if you look at it and use like the flu as an example, going back before COVID, they made it worse. And I've said that they created all the variants with the vaccines. Each time they vaccinated, and COVID made it so obvious it wasn't even funny. Each time a new booster came out, there was a new variant.
Yep.
Every single time. And it was like, oh, well, this is because of the unvaccinated. No, you retards, it's because of the vaccinated. It's because you're vaccinating them and they're mutating it. Blame the unvaccinated. No, that made no sense when they would say that. It's because of the unvaccinated. They need to be brought to heal. No, actually, they're the smartest of y'all because they know better. And each time you vaccinate, it gets worse.
I remember those arguments, and the thing is, though, it just they don't follow their own logic. If this thing was so effective, then why would you care? You should be immune. Let other people live their own lives. But the fact that they were trying to force something into you, I was of the mindset that if you're going to force something into me, I'm going to force something into you in the form of hot lead.
He's right. The whole idea of vaccines is to give you an immunity. So why are you all up in somebody else's face about whether or not they have an immunity? It doesn't affect you if you have an immunity. That's their choice.
This was one of my main arguments at the time. Yeah, It was just totally illogical.
Well, even now they keep trying to push the measles here in the States. There's been a measles outbreak, and it's because of the unvaccinated. And, of course, Florida gets the good old conk on the head because in Florida they have now actually, I believe they've gotten rid of the vaccination for the schools, even the requirements. Where our state, our general, what is he? Surgeon General. Surgeon General. It's the Surgeon General. He 1,000% does not believe in the vaccines. He thinks it makes things worse, and he was the one that got completely dusted COVID. The COVID vaccine, he pretty much said he put a warning on it to pretty much it would put you at risk to have it. So I mean pharmaceutical manufacturers hate him, but he's not wrong. And like I said, the logic of pro-vaccinators are that everybody has to be vaccinated to achieve herd immunity, which makes no sense at all. Because if you're vaccinated, like the measles outbreaks, nobody can explain to me how measles outbreaks are occurring right now in like high schools when they are all vaccinated for measles. So either it's a foreigner who is now probably an illegal who is attending the school who did not have the vaccine who got measles, but then how are the vaccinated kids catching it? Because they're vaccinated.
They're the ones that are the carriers. You remember during the Disney outbreak?
Yep.
It turned out it wasn't. They just blame it on some foreigner that came in, and it turned out it was a kid that just got the measles vaccine and wasn't told to quarantine for a period of time before going out in public.
My grandson Noah got measles from the measles vaccine. Noah Michael got it. And never forget it because my daughter's like, what's that? I'm like, oh, shit. Shit.
On the point of illegals, I recently read a report about the increase in TB reports and
tuberculosis,
Yeah, and HIV reports in this country have increased because of the immigration issue.
HIV, I'm going to tell you something that might scare you with the HIV. I don't believe that is your illegals. I believe the HIV is the vaccinated because the HIV compounds were not only part of COVID, they were also part of the vaccine. And they are noticing that those who were vaccinated, their immunity systems are crashing.
It's not
HIV is symptomatic of that.
On HIV tests.
Yes, they are coming up positive on HIV tests. And again,
Hep B, hepatitis B as well. Yeah.
Yep. But again, tuberculosis, people don't know this about TB, but TB never went away. TB is one of the number one killers in the United States when it comes to viruses. It is something that is very active. Especially in areas that are poor, you will see it rear its head. It's never been something that was actually under real control. That's the thing.
As far as I'm aware, we in the UK we had it under control up to quite recently, within the last 10 years. It was very rare to get reports of TB prior to 10 years ago.
Well, and the other side of that too, Mark, though, is if HIV is showing up, and again, I don't know about you guys in the UK, but we have all of our systems in play to prevent TB here in the States, especially if you have health insurance or you have a child in the public school system. But since the COVID vaccine, we are seeing, and I don't understand how nobody has picked this up and started reporting or doing some investigating on it. We are seeing a rise in what we thought were dead viruses. Like there's been talk of polio resurging. Things that we thought were completely destroyed are suddenly reappearing. And what does that tell me? That tells me that people's immunity systems got stripped somewhere along the way. Something stripped their immunity systems because they're catching things they should not be catching. I mean, by any intelligence at all. You cannot tell me that for 50 years we've been getting vaccinations in this country and nobody has caught this crap because they were vaccinated. Then suddenly after this virus, where they got shot up with an experimental immunotherapy, that suddenly these dead viruses are resurging. It doesn't make any sense. Something is going wrong.
If I remember rightly, polio in the West sort of died out in the 50s.
Yep.
Yeah, because of the vaccination routines.
Yep. They said polio is starting to surge a little bit, smallpox, things that we have not seen in generations. And they want to blame it, again, on the illegals. But even in the third world countries, these viruses were pretty much unheard of. They existed, but it wasn't like malaria or something like that. But they were pretty much under control. I mean, we've always had illegals in this country, and I make note of that too. this is not the first time we have had tens of millions of illegals in this country. Okay, it's been pretty much ongoing since the 70s. So to suddenly see these surges, there's something else going on. Either it's connected to COVID and the vaccines, or there's been leaks. It's being intentionally planted. But no matter, even if it's intentionally planted,
medical testing is more organized, more prolific, more accessible now.
No, because again, the one thing the states specifically are very good at is testing kids for school. They are, you cannot, before this year, I mean, in Florida, as far as I know, Florida is the only one that's relaxing the vaccines as much as they are. And I'm all for that because, again, I'd rather see these kids build natural immunity, this stuff. I think it's nuts that they get, chicken pox vaccines. You kidding me, right? Let the kid get the damn chicken pox and freaking fight it off and not get it again. I mean, because
I got chicken pox and then
I've had it.
I got shingles about 10, 15 years ago.
Did you get the chicken pox vaccine?
I presume I got the chicken pox during school. Must have been 15, 16.
Because one of the things they have found is that with the varicella vaccine came this huge onslaught of the shingles that was hitting people younger and younger and younger, because the shingles used to be a disease for the elderly. It was kind of like RSV. RSV was a disease for infants. It was not a disease you saw commonly throughout the population. It was for infants. I know, because my kids, when they were infants, it was a concern at that time. RSV, it's a very, we're worried because it's making a surge to the nurseries, and it's kind of like mono with infants. We have to be really careful, blah, 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 blah. Never forget it. And now all of a sudden after COVID, RSV is being vaccinated for in the adult population. It's not really dangerous to adults. So, and then again, varicella, chickenpox. Chickenpox vaccine starts, and if you look at like the cases of shingles after like 5 years post chickenpox vaccine, you start seeing shingles cases occurring younger and younger and younger and younger. Why? Because now,
to be fair, between getting the vaccination and receiving shingles, it must have been a good, 15, 20 odd years.
It is. So. It is. They say it's between 10 and 20 years of a threshold. But you guys are at heavier risk. The vaccinated for varicella are at higher risk of getting shingles than the unvaccinated for varicella. So it's weird, but it's true. And, like I said, you can't, why would you even, it's like, I don't understand why they vaccinate for measles either. It's not a deadly virus. It's only deadly if you have some serious autoimmune deficiencies. It's not deadly. I mean, chickenpox is not deadly unless you have underlying issues with your autoimmune system. It's uncomfortable and it can leave scars. And usually that's why you want to get it very young, where it's kind of controllable. But it's not deadly. The one thing that's dangerous with adults is that it can cause a high fever, which can sterilize males. It's not so much females that need to worry, it's males. But all right, guys, with that, I'm actually looking at Dave Campione flipping out, hitting his button. 1 minute. I've got to close the show up. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and close it out real quick. Thank you to David, Mark, Raphael, and Mark Rotashik for everything that they do every week with me here on the Vixen's Vault. We'll see you all next week. Have a great weekend.
Primary objective successful. Shutdown sequence initiated. Shutting down.